Oh hey, look who it is, it's you! Welcome back. Thank you for coming back if you have come back from another video. Honestly, Godspeed. I respect your courage. But if you are just watching this channel for the first time now, hello, my name is Clodagh. This is the Electric Oracle. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep calling it that because I'm starting to go off that name just a smidge. But yeah, hello. So I was trying to come up with ideas the other day of what else I could talk about on here, and one thing that came to mind was homesickness. Specifically adult homesickness, because that is absolutely a thing. Even if people don't believe you when you say it, it is definitely a thing in and of itself. So today we're going to sit here and have a chat and have some tea, get some tea if you want it. We're going to sit here and have a chat about adult homesickness. So I guess to start off, I will give my side of the story, my experience with homesickness throughout my life, and then we can talk about some techniques and help and advice if you are a homesick adult right now, or even if you're just a homesick person. It doesn't matter what age you are. That's part of what I want to talk about as well, that homesickness affects anyone and everyone, not just little kiddies. So, as for me, I have always been a really kind of homesick, clingy person by nature, I guess. I get very, very attached very quickly to things. So when I don't have something that makes me feel secure or like I'm at home, basically, I get very upset. And that could be more along the lines of separation anxiety than it is like homesickness. For the purpose of this video though, we will refer to it as homesickness. So as a child, I was always very, very attached and clingy to my family and my home in general. I didn't like going away. I hated going abroad on holidays, particularly after the age of about 8 or 9. That's when it really got kind of like, I would say severe. Like I would actually say that I like really just hated going away from home. I don't know why to this day, why it was such a huge issue for me at the time, why it kind of sprung up out of nowhere. But it did, and it is still something that I deal with to this very day. I used to get really upset whenever I wasn't near my loved ones. Even the thought of going to a sleepover used to really freak me out sometimes, and I would have to kind of, at the age of like 10, like mentally prepare myself to spend a night away from home. And thankfully that did ease as I got older, and that's not an issue anymore at all, thank God. Moving on into the present day, homesickness is still something that I really, really deal with. I really don't like being away from home. I'm just a complete homebird, and I don't know why or how it happened, but that's just the way my personality developed. And it is still a problem. It really is. And people really judge you at this age for not wanting to be away from home and for not wanting to go abroad and travel and anything, you know. They really don't get it. They really don't get why you're not this kind of young, free-spirited 20-year-old or 23-year-old in my case, or even, you know, like free-spirited 50-year-old, 70-year-old, 90-year-old. I don't know. I mean, it can affect anyone at all times. So that's why I wanted to make this video, is to talk about this and hopefully just give a little bit of support and a hug. Just hug yourself right now if you are feeling homesick. I'm so sorry if you are. It's a really horrible feeling, but I really hope some of these tips give you some sort of help or strength to get through whatever it is you're going through. Even if it's a holiday, you can get homesick on holidays, you really can, guarantee it. So I have made some little notes here. You can't see it, can you? No, you can now. You don't want to see anyway. My handwriting is terrible right now. I have a list of tips that I have made, very, very scatterly, but they are here nonetheless. The first thing I have here written down is don't feel guilty for being homesick. That is the number one thing. I think it is so easy to feel like you are a complete baby when you're an adult and you really miss your loved ones and you really miss home, you miss your country, you miss your own bed, you miss your friends, you just miss the food, everything about it, you miss it. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you a complete Philistine or somebody who's really narrow-minded. You were just a home bird. It's not that bad a thing. Don't ever, ever, ever let somebody make you feel guilty for being homesick as an adult. It is not a bad thing. It is such a normal reaction. It really is. The second thing I have here is slightly harsher, I would say, but it is very much a tip that really helped me. Don't indulge the feeling. Just don't kind of wallow in self-pity if you are abroad somewhere or you're just in a different place, you're not at home. don't indulge that feeling. Don't let it take hold of you, in the sense that you can't just kind of sit at home and be scrolling through pictures on your phone and feeling terrible and sorry for yourself. You are where you are, and you have to accept that. And you also need to acknowledge the really cheesy but true phrase, your current situation is not your final destination. So you're not always going to be there. You're not. It's going to come to an end. Whatever you are doing right now away from home, it will come to an end. And you will see home again. You will. You will see your loved ones again. You will see your friends again. You will have your own bed. All these things. This feeling that you have right now, it's not going to last. So just remember that. Make the most of what you're doing and where you are right now. Social media can be a bit of an iffy one when it comes to homesickness. At one level, it can give you really severe FOMO, fear of missing out. You can think, God, look at what the amazing things I'm missing at home. I really miss my friends. It can be kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to scroll through social media constantly. But that being said, in the least kind of facetious, superficial way possible, you will be amazed the difference social media can make in terms of forcing you to appreciate what is good about your experience. It's the one time that social media and its fakery can actually help you, because it really forces you to say, you're sitting in your apartment. Like when I was in Paris 2 years ago, nearly, it was a year and a half ago, I was miserable. I was so deeply homesick. Nothing against Paris or France, let that be said, nothing whatsoever against them, but I was miserable. I was really, really homesick. And I remember sitting in my apartment and just thinking, God, I'm such an awful person for not appreciating everything around me. I'm in Paris. It's such an amazing city, and here I am sitting on my bed just watching the world go by. And it sounds pathetic, but it's so true that what really encouraged me to go and see things was the fact that I could put it on my Instagram and actually really appreciate it. And I basically fooled myself into thinking that I was having a reasonable time, and it worked to a certain degree, because I did really appreciate what I was surrounded by in Paris and what I was missing by being so miserable for myself the whole time. So I don't advocate social media and its fakery and everything and its superficiality, but in that instance, it actually does kind of help, unfortunately. You should also try and document your trip, or document whatever you are doing right now, even if it's all the really bad stuff. Write it all down, so when you go home, it'll make you appreciate home 10 times more. And you'll just think, thank the Lord, I'm out of that situation. Document everything, the good and the bad times. Film yourself crying if you really want to. The next tip is a little bit juvenile, but I would honestly advocate countdown calendars so much. This is something that I used to do all the time when I was 10, 11, 12. I would get a piece of paper. Like a prisoner, I would mark out how many days left I had on that holiday, and I would cross them off as the days went by. And that makes me sound so spoiled and unappreciative, God help you, you were on holiday, how terrible could it have been? But that's just how I felt at the time, and the countdown calendars really helped. And yeah, I would recommend that. There's obviously so many apps that you can get for your phone these days where you have a countdown calendar. Normally it's the opposite way around, that you're counting down to the holiday, but it's not always the case with adult homesickness, let me tell you. One of the strongest reminders of a place or a time can kind of center around sensory things. So smells, sights, feels, everything. One thing that you can do is say, bring something that smells of home. Something that reminds you of home and smells of home can be really helpful, if that floats your boat. My last piece of advice is remember why you are there. Remember that there is definitely a purpose that this time away from home is serving, and that hopefully you will benefit from that purpose in the future. When I was away as part of my degree, I had to spend 2 months in France on and off over the space of about 2 years, and that sounds like nothing, but when you are homesick, it's horrific. Really is horrific. I had to keep reminding myself that every day that I was in France was a step closer to my degree. So if you were away somewhere and you're in that kind of similar situation, it could even be Erasmus. A lot of people really hate Erasmus. It's completely, it's very overhyped. If you were away in Erasmus and you really aren't enjoying yourself, just remind yourself that every day that you spend there is a day closer to your degree and a day closer to when you can go home. That is the end of the video, I think. I really, really, truly hope that helped even one person. Adult homesickness is absolutely a thing. It really is. And I'm amazed that more people don't talk about it, because I know people, aside from me, who get really homesick when they go away places. But it just doesn't seem to be spoken about, and it's bizarre, and I really hope it does get more spoken about. If you are homesick right now, I'm so sorry, but the feeling will pass, I guarantee it. I've been there so many times. I mean, I've travelled extensively over the last 2 to 3 years, and my god, the homesickness was terrible at times, but I got through it, and you can too. I believe in you. I absolutely believe in you. You can get through this no matter where you are. If you are away in college in the same country as your home, but you're still homesick, you can get through it. If you are away on holiday and you're hating it, you can get through it. If you are away anywhere at all, away from home, or you don't feel like you're at home in your own home, you can get through it. I promise you, you can. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any other suggestions, comments, anything at all, do feel free to leave a comment down below. You can subscribe if you want to, and you can interact with whatever way you want. Yeah, I still have no outro. Yeah, it's true. I will see you all soon for a new video, hopefully, all going well. Not you will, definitely. But yeah, thank you for putting up with me. I really appreciate it. Bye!